Do you ever wonder what it's going to be like when you come off of orientation? You think it's going to be the best thing ever, and you're a nurse now, and everything's going to be unicorns and rainbows, but then you have your very first shift and you almost want to quit? That was me. I've been a nurse now for 30 years, and I still remember my very first shift coming off of orientation. I'd been a student nurse for a year in the ER where I was working. It was a very urban trauma center, level 1 trauma center, and I was working in the holding area, which was our prisoner population, and I was by myself, and I was sure that I could handle it. No problem, I got this. And I had a patient who needed a blood transfusion, and I had taken his vitals, and I had noticed that his heart rate was a little high, so I asked the doctor if I should put him on a cardiac monitor, and he said no, he doesn't need a cardiac monitor. So I did my initial vitals. I watched him for the first 15 minutes. I kept checking on him, and then I got busy with other patients for the next hour or so, and in an hour I went back to do my hour check, and he was gone. He had no pulse, he wasn't breathing. He had coded, we coded him, it was a very short code, and it was crushing. I'd done codes before. It wasn't my first code. It was my first code with my own patient. It was my first code as a RN on my own by myself, and it was so hard. It was so difficult. I remember going home. I remember doing a lot of crying. I even journaled. I think I still have that journal article somewhere where I had done that whole journal. And I thought, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Maybe I'm not supposed to be a nurse. Maybe this was the wrong field for me, because it felt so soul crushing at the time. But I pulled myself together and went back to work the next night, and the next shift, and the next shift, and the next shift, and then all of a sudden it's 30 years later, and I still go back because I love it, and I know that I was born to be a nurse. And if you feel that way, you go into a shift and you feel like, I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, because it was really, really hard. Just know that over the last 30 years, there have been a lot of really hard shifts. None of them as hard as that very first shift and that very first code. But there are always going to be hard shifts. There are always going to be hard days. But in the end, you know that you have done a lot of good for a lot of people. And that is why you keep coming back over and over again.